Sure. All right, I'd like to call the City Council meeting for Monday, October 9th to order. I'll stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mark, will you call the roll, please?
Muntz.
Here.
DeForest.
Here.
Gilroy.
Here.
Wilton. Here. Hall.
Here.
Merlino. Bellinger.
Here.
All right. Okay, so I will, we didn't hear from Bertolino? Okay, all right. I will move along to looking for an approval of the agenda for this evening.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Excellent, thank you. All right, now we have time for audience participation, maximum of 5 minutes on non-agenda items. All right. Oh, Earl, please
Hi.
come forward.
Hi, just like to reinforce that this week is History Week with the Depot Museum, and they had a great successful History Day yesterday. We had a reporter there, actually. Sunday is the Apple History Tour. For $25, you can ride a charter bus with MSU horticulturists and review the whole apple history of farming in this area. That's a fantastic day. And that'll start at the Depot Museum, go to sites all around Williamston area and end up back here. So that's on Sunday. It's their annual fundraiser. Also, the QR code trivia contest is going on. You can pick up a card, and we have some here. You fill out, how much do you know about downtown Williamston? If you can answer the right questions and get a right answer, you get a $5 Starbucks card for your right answer, if you know downtown history trivia. And so Starbucks has been very cooperative. We're really happy that they're on board. And that's going on all week. So we have about 200 high school kids that have these cards trying to get a $5 drink from Starbucks. And so it's just a great way to know you're downtown. So that's going on right now.
Great, thank you, Earl.
Okay.
Anyone else for audience participation at this time? Yes.
So you had mentioned about looking into what percentage of our taxes go to outside entities. And so I was doing a little bit of research and looking on the website, the city website, and there's a link that says where do my taxes go? And so I clicked on it, and it's from 2015, so it's not updated. I was wondering if there could be like a public updated percentage of where taxes go, and
We can look into that.
okay, and so I don't know why the link. I'm trying to click on it, but I was just wondering about the millage and the increase in taxes for the updated infrastructure.
Sure. So we just voted on that, our last council meeting, to move forward with putting together an educational plan to be able to inform the community why we're looking for a millage for the infrastructure, which would include the road surface, the water and sewer underneath. Right now, we're proposing a 3.94 millage, but we will be putting together information to get that out to the community. We don't have all of that ready yet. Again, that just happened at our last council meeting, but we will be making sure that we do a community-wide canvassing with that information.
Okay, was that an agenda item?
Yes, it was. Yes,
Okay.
it was. Yes.
I'll have to look back because when I actually went to look to see what was on the agenda for the last meeting, there was nothing listed.
It was actually listed as it was the road committee infrastructure proposal.
Okay.
Committee recommendation.
Road committee recommendation. It's actually in our minutes from this, on this evening. Yes, go ahead,
I
Ken.
just want to make sure you realize that's going to be on the ballot. This isn't something we're going to.
We're not passing it, but it's for the community to vote on.
Correct, right.
Okay.
In 2018, November.
Okay.
Okay. Any other audience participation? Okay, I will move forward for an approval of the council meeting minutes from September 25th.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And accounts payable, Noah.
Hi, I had a chance to look at all accounts receivable, and I reviewed checks 69289 through 69341 for a total of $2,091,871.26.
All right. Can I have a roll call to approve those?
What?
Oh,
No.
sorry, can you make a motion?
Somebody said-
Yeah.
No.
No,
No.
he brought it
I
up, so
brought it
yeah, I'm
up,
sorry,
so
motion.
My motion to approve these.
Yes, I need a second.
Second.
Thank you, Jim. All right, can we have a roll call, Barb?
Hall,
Yes.
Bertolino,
Yes.
Bellinger,
Yes.
Munt,
If Noah says so, yes.
DeForest,
Yes.
Gilroy,
Yes.
Wilton. Yes.
All right, excellent. So our first action item of this evening is the first reading for the Consumers Energy Franchise Agreement Ordinance, and that would be Alan.
It would be. In your packet, you have the old franchise agreement with Consumers Energy
Yeah,
to,
1987.
it's 30-year
Yeah.
agreement. We do have a representative from Consumers here tonight.
Hi,
If
thank
you
you.
have questions. This is kind of like the cable franchise. It is exclusive, correct.
Non-exclusive.
So, but basically it gives them the right to have their gas lines within our right of ways
Sure.
and those type of things.
Okay.
They brought it to our attention that, prior one was before I was here and it was news to me. So, this would be the first reading, of the ordinance, giving the, rights to basically have their lines in the city and do business.
For another
for
30-year
another 30
cycle?
years.
Okay. All right. Does anybody have any questions? Yes, Sean?
Ellen, what does the non-exclusivity?
It means that another company, another gas company come in, but they would have to run, they'd have to do one of these things and kind of like cable, run their own lines. It basically just allows utilities to use our rights of ways.
Correct. All right, excellent. Any other questions?
Motion to approve the first reading of the Consumers Energy Company gas franchise ordinance.
Second.
All right, roll call, Barb?
Bertolino,
Yes.
Bellinger,
Yes.
Munt,
Yes.
DeForest,
Yes.
Gilroy,
Yes.
Wilton. Yes. Hall,
Yes.
Excellent. And now we have on our agenda the renaming of Deer Creek Park. Sandy.
Thank you. Everybody should know by now, I brought this to the table. This is mine. This has nothing to do with anybody else. Deer Creek Park is always been known as Lions Park because we've taken care of it, we've maintained it. Howard was a big part of that, Howard Dahlstrom. I'm not gonna make it long because I've been told I'm too emotional about it, and yes, I am, very emotional. But I think that I've talked to all of the organizations and I've talked to a ton of people and they are more than excited about this, and I'd like to rename Deer Creek Park Dahlstrom Memorial Park.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All right. Go ahead.
Is it Dahlstrom Memorial Park or
No,
Howard
it's-
Dahlstrom?
It's
Howard
Howard Dahlstrom
Dahlstrom.
Memorial Park, it's on the action.
Correct, I want to make sure it's noted.
All right. All right, can I have a roll call, please, for the motion and the second of renaming Deer Creek Park to Howard Dahlstrom Memorial Park?
Bellinger,
Yes.
Munt,
Yes.
DeForest,
Yes.
Gilroy,
Yes.
Wilton,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Bertolino.
Yes.
Thank you, council, I appreciate that. And Sandy, thank you.
Sandy, is there a fundraising aspect of this going
Just
on too?
I wanted to make sure you knew they had nothing to do with the memorial.
Right.
That is the police have put together. It has nothing, whatever is made for the funeral, whatever Sue gets for the funeral, anything left goes to what her family, or the family, whatever they want to do with it. This is my baby. This will cost the city or Dahlstrom's nothing.
Right, but are you doing anything that people can donate towards that?
Not yet. I will.
She'll keep us informed.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
So, yes,
excuse me.
Carl.
Chief Young, can you expand on the memorial fund a little bit, just for our information?
Yes, the memorial that the police department is doing is, and actually, we're not doing it, it's on our Facebook. Howard's brother set that up to cover the final burial expenses and everything. Anything left would be dedicated towards a memorial, so what's left would be towards this.
Okay, excellent, thank you, Chief. We look forward to hearing more and more about that, and Howard's memorial service is Friday, October 20th at St. Mary's Church, and I believe it starts at 11 a.m. So anybody that would like to come and say their final goodbyes at that time, I'm sure that the Dahlstrom family would appreciate that. Chief?
And just to follow up on that, because information for the memorial is on the Facebook, and it's at Fifth Third Bank here, so you can take it
Okay.
either to the bank or bring it in here, but it's all explained on the Facebook page.
Great, thank you, Chief. All right, we do not have any discussion items listed for this evening, nor have we received any correspondence, so I'm gonna move right to department head reports.
You've got my written report. Also in front of you is a letter from the Coburg Law Firm, wanting to come in and give a presentation on the pros of medical marijuana. These usually come in phone calls, and I just address them and let them know what the council's current stance is.
Correct.
Because this was a letter to the mayor and council, I brought it to council.
Thank you.
You want me to respond to the individual with the current
What our
council's
current position is.
or do you want me to set up for a presentation?
What's the thoughts of council?
They're always
It's
welcome to
gonna-
make a presentation,
But it's gonna be the same stance that we've had with the other ones that have come in, so.
firmly in our
Okay.
position, but
I
Okay,
think
I
if
will
you just-
reply to
Well,
that.
I guess I need some clarification, because this says provision center. Does that mean a dispensary? Okay.
And this didn't just come to the city of Williamston. Not knowing who this gentleman was, I looked him up. It's a form letter that has gone out to other communities on the same thing. Just kind of sending feelers out again.
Sure.
All right, thank you, Alan. All right, Chief,
Nothing to report.
all right. And I see Rachel is not here, so we'll skip right down to, and we've got the building department from AGS, their reports in here. Scott, do you have anything you want to share this evening?
Just to remind everybody, this is the water system flushing week, so, if you're using water during the day, be mindful that we're flushing, and that can cause some discoloration and such. And then residents hopefully don't put leaves out this week because it gets in the drains and clogs things up. So this weekend, go at it. We'll put the leaves up next week. Good.
Excellent.
So, thanks.
All right, thank you, Scott. That is it for our department head report. So I will go back to audience participation of non-agenda items for this evening. All right, we'll just scoot right down to council member comments. Ken?
Steady as she goes.
Okay, excellent. Jim?
My grandkids are looking forward to the Fire Hall breakfast this Saturday. They can really pack away the pancakes. It's from 8 to 11 o'clock. Get there early before they eat up all the food and that. Earl mentioned History Week. We are coming up next week, the 18th, on the 10th anniversary of the F2 tornado that roared through the town, and it's still etched in my memory. It took out the brand new scoreboard at the football field,
And some
a lot of
lights.
trees in McCormick Park, a lot of pine trees just to the west of the high school, some houses in this particular area and that. I can remember the thing that sticks in my mind about it, the aftermath, the last few days afterwards, is the sound of chainsaws and the smell of freshly cut timber, and the TV news helicopters flying overhead. But the thing that I remember the most is the first responders' efforts and all the people that just chipped in to help everybody else out during this tragedy. That's what we do in America, help out when disaster strikes.
Thank you. Noah?
I want to save a record time, so I'm going to say no comments for tonight.
All right, yeah, no kidding, right? Sean?
Well, was happy to do homecoming last week with a couple of council members here, and it's always kind of fun to go out there and wave and throw candy, which it looks like Jim's got some left over there.
I do.
Yeah, and so if you want some, I don't know. But that's always a good time, just community coming out, and I understand Williamston, the football just kind of destroyed Fowlerville, so no disrespect to any viewers who might be in Fowlerville. But it was a good homecoming game. Taste of Williamston was last week. There are 7 restaurants, I'm not going to name them all, were there down at the Tractor Supply last week. Great benefit for weekend survival kits, which used to be called Clean Hands. They've changed their name officially, which what they do now is solely help children in our area fight hunger. A lot of families struggle, and so this organization helps raise funds, and volunteers come together and arrange little packages so they have a little something to munch on over the weekend. And so that's something great. Everything's going well in this community, and I like the Michigan State shirts. They won a game this weekend, so.
Too bad.
I'm
Yeah, well,
trying,
you know,
I got blinded.
No, I know, I apologize to those members of the other team in Michigan. That's it.
All right, Chad,
No comments today.
great. Sadie?
Thank you, council, for passing that. I'm sorry for getting emotional. I also want to tell you that I worked at the food market this weekend. It was amazing. It was so beautiful. The weather was great. There were flowers and pumpkins and tons of people. And we had a band that was absolutely phenomenal. I watched people come in and buy stuff after church. And then later, when the band played all day, they came back with chairs and their people. And it was just like being down to the park. I mean, they brought their kids and they were dancing, and it was an amazing Sunday. I never enjoyed 4 hours as much as I did then. Thank you, Marlene.
Good way to close out the season.
Yeah.
I have to say, one of the stars there was Sandy's granddaughter.
Oh, good, excellent. I had the opportunity to ride in the homecoming parade with these 3 gentlemen trailing behind me. So that was a fun thing to do. Next Saturday, the 21st, is the open house for Gaylord Rich for his 61 years of service with the Williamston City Fire Department and also NISA. So I would strongly encourage anyone that knows Gaylord, if they'd like to give him a fond farewell at NISA next weekend, please come out and show Gaylord some love. And with that, in record time, I'm going to adjourn this council meeting.